They said you couldn't do it. They laughed, they doubted, they rolled their eyes. Maybe they called your dreams impossible. Maybe they said you were too late, too young, too old, too inexperienced. They had 1,000 reasons why you couldn't. But here's what they didn't realize. You only needed one reason why you could. Doubt is the seed of greatness. Every great achiever in history was at some point doubted. The difference between those who stay average and those who rise is this: the great ones use doubt as fuel. Instead of letting it shrink them, they let it strengthen them. When they were told it couldn't be done, they smiled, nodded, and worked harder because they knew the secret. Words don't build legacies, actions do. Success isn't announced, it's revealed. When you walk into a room, you don't have to say you're successful. The way you carry yourself, the confidence in your eyes, the results in your life, they say it for you. Let your actions do the talking. Let your progress make the statement. When you're too busy winning, you don't have time to argue. But let's be real, on the road to success, you'll hear no more times than you can count. Rejection is part of the deal. The question isn't whether you'll face it. The question is what you'll do with it. Will you let it break you, or will you let it build you? Every no you hear is simply a test. How badly do you want it? Because if you want it bad enough, every rejection becomes motivation, every setback becomes a lesson, and every obstacle becomes a stepping stone. And while the critics talk, the winners work. Some people choose drama, others choose discipline. The critics, the doubters, the complainers. They spend their energy on opinions, but those who succeed, they spend their energy on action. They wake up early, they stay late, they master their craft while others waste time. Because they know this: when the results start showing, the critics start disappearing. You don't argue with success. You don't debate results. You can't deny a scoreboard. When you become so undeniably great at what you do, even those who doubted you have no choice but to acknowledge it. That's how you silence the noise. Not with arguments, but with proof, with results. And the sweetest part? Growth is the best revenge. You don't have to fight back with anger. You don't have to lower yourself to their level. No, the best response is to keep rising. Because while they waste energy doubting, you invest energy in improving. And nothing is more frustrating to a critic than watching the person they doubted succeed beyond imagination. But here's the truth. This road isn't easy. Success has a price. It requires sacrifice. While others relax, you'll be working. While they make excuses, you'll be taking action. There will be nights you want to quit, days where the results don't show yet, moments where you wonder if it's worth it. But remember this: every sacrifice today is an investment in a future that will make the struggle worth it. And success doesn't come overnight. That's the myth. The reality, it comes through patience, through persistence, through showing up day after day, even when no one is watching, even when no one believes in you yet. Because the ones who win, they aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to give up. And let's talk about the people around you, because they matter. You can't surround yourself with people who doubt your dreams and expect to reach them. Find those who challenge you, who believe in your vision, who push you forward. And if you can't find them, be your own biggest believer until they show up. Because at the end of the day, you are the example. Your success won't just prove them wrong, it will inspire others to believe in themselves. Someone out there needs to see you win. Someone out there needs to see that it can be done. And when you rise, you won't just silence the doubters. You'll give hope to the dreamers. So don't just tell them they were wrong, show them. Work in silence, let success make the noise. They say doubt is a bad thing, that when people don't believe in you, it's a sign to stop, to turn back, to question yourself. But here's the truth. Doubt is not a stop sign. It's a starting point. The greatest achievements in history were born from doubt. Not just the doubt others had, but the doubt that crept into the minds of those who dared to dream. Doubt is uncomfortable. It whispers, "Are you sure? Do you really have what it takes?" It makes you question your abilities, your path, your chances. But that's where the secret lies. Because when you learn to face doubt, to use it, to push through it, you discover something powerful. It was never there to stop you. It was there to test you, to see how badly you really wanted it, to separate those who simply wish from those who are willing to work. The moment someone tells you you can't, pay attention. That moment is a gift, because now you've been handed a choice. You can accept their doubt as truth, or you can let it fuel something deep inside you. The ones who go far, the ones who change the game, the ones who succeed beyond imagination, they all had people tell them they couldn't do it. They all heard the laughter, the criticism, the skepticism, and they all made the same decision: watch me. That's the moment everything changes. When you decide that doubt is not a wall but a doorway. When you realize that every great achiever was once an underdog, that every champion was once underestimated, that every record breaker was once just another person with a dream no one believed in. What separates the successful from the average is what they do with doubt. Some let it shrink them. Others let it push them. The real winners, they take every moment of doubt and turn it into fuel. Every time someone says you're not good enough, they work harder. Every time someone says it'll never happen, they go one step further, until one day the same people who doubted them have no choice but to admit they were wrong. Doubt, when handled correctly, becomes the seed of greatness. It forces you to sharpen your skills, to prove your worth, to rise above mediocrity. Because if everyone believed in you from the start, there would be no fire, no edge, no hunger to prove something. The struggle, the resistance, the pushback, it all serves a purpose. It makes you stronger. It forces you to grow. It makes success not just possible, but inevitable. So when someone doubts you, smile. Because they just handed you an opportunity, not to argue, not to fight back with words, but to go out and do the work, to get so good that they can't ignore you, to let your results speak louder than their opinions, to turn their doubt into the very thing that propels you forward. Because nothing is more powerful than a person who has been underestimated and refuses to stay that way. Talk is easy. Promises are cheap. Opinions are everywhere. But results, those are rare. That's why the people who truly make an impact in this world don't spend their time explaining what they're going to do. They just do it. They don't waste energy proving themselves in conversations. They let their success speak for itself. Because when you achieve something real, you don't have to convince anyone. The proof is right there. Too many people get caught up in defending themselves, in arguing with doubters, in explaining why they deserve success. But here's the truth. No one is listening to what you say. They're watching what you do. People don't believe in words. They believe in results. When you make progress, when you grow, when you achieve, the doubters start to fade away, not because you convinced them, but because your actions left no room for debate. Look around at the people who are winning in life. They aren't the loudest in the room. They aren't the ones bragging, boasting, or seeking attention. They're the ones focused, working, building, improving. Because they understand something most people don't. While others talk about success, they are out there creating it. And that's the real difference. If you want to be taken seriously, don't just say what you're going to do, show it. If you want respect, don't demand it, earn it. If you want to silence your critics, don't argue, outwork them. Let your actions do the talking. Because at the end of the day, words disappear, but results remain. Some people think they need to announce their every move, tell the world their plans, get validation before they even begin. But success doesn't come from validation, it comes from execution. The ones who truly succeed don't need permission. They don't need applause. They just put their heads down and do the work. And when the results start showing, they don't need to say a word. Their success speaks loud enough. There is power in quiet progress. When you stop explaining yourself and start building something real, you gain momentum. You don't waste time on meaningless debates. You don't drain your energy trying to convince those who will never believe in you anyway. Instead, you channel everything into growth, into mastery, into becoming so good that even the loudest critics are forced to take notice. This is the mindset of champions, of leaders, of those who turn dreams into reality. They understand that success isn't about proving a point. It's about becoming undeniable. They don't let negativity slow them down. They don't get distracted by the noise. They know that in the end, the only thing that matters is what they've built, what they've accomplished, what they've become. So don't waste time explaining. Don't argue with people who doubt you. Don't try to convince the world with words. Instead, focus on action. Get better, work harder, improve every single day. And when the results come, when the progress is visible, when you've turned your effort into something undeniable, you won't have to say a thing. Because success doesn't need a speech. It speaks for itself. Rejection. It stings. It makes you question yourself. It makes you wonder if you're good enough, smart enough, strong enough. But here's the truth. Rejection isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of a new one. The difference between those who win and those who give up is simple. Winners take rejection and turn it into fuel. They don't see it as failure. They see it as feedback. They don't take it personally. They take it as a challenge. Everyone who has ever achieved something great has been rejected. The best athletes have been told they weren't talented enough. The greatest entrepreneurs have been laughed out of rooms. The most successful people in any field have faced more rejection than most people could handle, but that's exactly why they succeeded, because they handled it. They didn't let it break them, they let it build them. Rejection is just proof that you're in the game. You can't be rejected if you're not trying. You can't fail if you're not taking risks. The only way to avoid rejection is to play it safe, to stay in your comfort zone, to never stretch beyond what's easy. But if you're serious about success, you'll face rejection again and again. And every time it happens, you'll have a choice. Let it discourage you or let it drive you. The people who let rejection stop them never see what was waiting for them on the other side. They give up too soon. They take one no as the final answer when it was only meant to be a redirection. They hear not yet but assume it means never. And that's why so many dreams never turn into reality. Not because they were impossible, but because someone gave up too early. Rejection is a test. It asks, how badly do you want it? It separates those who are just interested from those who are truly committed. The ones who win don't let rejection close the door. They find another way in. If one opportunity disappears, they create another one. If one path is blocked, they carve a new one. If someone tells them no, they smile, nod, and move forward because they know that every rejection gets them one step closer to the right opportunity. Think about it. If you were never rejected, how would you grow? If everything always worked out on the first try, where would the lessons be? Rejection teaches resilience. It teaches patience. It forces you to refine your skills, sharpen your focus, and develop the kind of mindset that success requires. Because success isn't given to those who are lucky, it's given to those who refuse to quit. The ones who make it to the top aren't the ones who never got rejected. They're the ones who got rejected 1,000 times and kept going. They turned every no into motivation. They used every setback as a setup for a comeback. They let the doubt of others strengthen their own belief, and one day, they reached a point where the same people who rejected them had no choice but to respect them. So the next time you hear no, don't get discouraged. Get excited, because it means you're in the game. It means you're trying. It means you're on the path to something bigger. Take that rejection and let it push you. Let it sharpen you. Let it light a fire inside you that makes you work harder, grow stronger, and prove beyond any doubt that nothing will stop you. Not rejection, not doubt, not fear, because success isn't about avoiding rejection. It's about pushing through it until there's nothing left to reject. Every day you have a choice. You can focus on the work or you can focus on the noise. You can build or you can complain. You can push forward or you can get caught up in distractions. And the truth is, most people choose the wrong thing. They choose drama over discipline. They choose to argue instead of improve. They choose to react instead of act. But the ones who win, they choose discipline every single time. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not loud. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't entertain, but it gets the job done. Discipline is waking up early when no one is watching. It's putting in the extra hours when no one is cheering. It's saying no to distractions, no to excuses, no to the easy way out. It's doing what needs to be done, not just what feels good in the moment. Drama, on the other hand, is everywhere. It's in the workplace, in conversations, in social media, in the news. It's people wasting energy on things that don't move them forward. It's gossip, it's negativity, it's distractions dressed up as importance. Drama is easy to get sucked into because it feels like action. But here's the problem. It produces nothing. No progress, no growth, no results. Look around. The people who spend their time caught up in drama are always in the same place. Year after year, they talk, they argue, they blame, they complain, but they never move forward. Because drama takes energy, and the energy you waste on nonsense is energy you could have used to build your future. Now look at the people who are succeeding. They don't have time for drama. They don't have time for meaningless debates. They don't waste their breath on things that don't matter because they know something most people don't. Discipline creates freedom. When you master yourself, you master your future. When you control your time, your habits, your focus, you control your destiny. Discipline means choosing your future over temporary distractions. It means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means staying consistent when motivation fades. It means doing what others won't so you can live like others can't. And the best part? The more disciplined you become, the more drama disappears. Not because the world changes, but because you do. You stop entertaining nonsense. You stop getting pulled into negativity. You stop wasting time on things that don't serve you. There will always be drama in the world. There will always be people who complain, who argue, who make excuses. But that doesn't have to be you. You can rise above it. You can choose better. You can decide that your goals, your dreams, your success matter more than temporary distractions. Every minute spent on drama is a minute lost on progress. Every hour wasted on negativity is an hour you'll never get back. Every time you choose discipline, you get stronger. Every time you choose to focus, you move forward. And one day, while others are still stuck in the same place, caught in the same problems, trapped in the same cycles, you'll be miles ahead. Not because you had more talent, not because you got lucky, but because you made a simple decision, discipline over drama. Every time. Critics will always be there. They'll talk, they'll doubt, they'll point out flaws, they'll say you can't do it, that you don't have what it takes, that you're wasting your time. And if you're not careful, you might start believing them. But here's what most people never understand. Critics don't matter. Opinions don't build success. Arguments don't change minds. The only thing that truly silences criticism is results. You can try to explain yourself, you can try to convince people, you can spend hours defending your dreams, but in the end, none of that will make a difference. Because words don't change doubters, proof does. Success is the only language critics understand. When they see real results, when they see undeniable progress, they have no choice but to go quiet. The problem is most people waste energy on the wrong things. They get caught up in defending themselves, in responding to negativity and fighting battles that don't need to be fought. They think if they just say the right thing, people will believe in them. But belief doesn't come from talking, it comes from doing. It comes from showing up, putting in the work, and letting the results speak for themselves. Think about the people who have achieved something great. At some point, every single one of them was doubted. They were laughed at. They were underestimated. But did they spend time arguing? No. They went to work. They got better. They improved. They focused on results. And when the results came, the same people who once doubted them had to sit back in silence. That's the power of success. It removes the need for explanations. When you have results, you don't have to argue. When you've built something real, you don't have to convince anyone. When your work speaks for itself, critics become irrelevant because at that point, their words don't match reality. People can argue with opinions, but they can't argue with proof. They can doubt your dreams, but they can't deny your results. They can criticize all they want, but when you rise, when you win, when you accomplish what they said was impossible, there's nothing left for them to say. And the best part, you never had to waste a second proving them wrong with words. You let your success do it for you. That's the mindset that separates those who make it from those who don't. The ones who win don't seek approval. They don't wait for permission. They don't beg for belief. They simply put their heads down and get to work, and by the time the critics realize what happened, it's too late. The results are already there for the world to see. So the next time someone doubts you, don't argue. Don't explain. Don't get distracted. Just smile, nod, and go back to work. Because one day, when the results are in, you won't have to say a word. The silence of your critics will say it all. There will always be people who doubt you, people who don't believe in your potential, who say you're not good enough, who try to keep you in the same place. They'll laugh, they'll criticize, they'll dismiss your dreams, and for a moment it might get to you. It might make you question yourself, wonder if they're right. But here's the truth. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to argue. You don't need to prove anything with words. The best way to respond? Grow. Growth is the best revenge because it doesn't just prove them wrong, it makes them irrelevant. The moment you stop reacting and start improving, everything changes. Because while they're busy talking, you're busy building. While they're doubting, you're developing. While they're standing still, you're moving forward. And before they even realize what's happened, you're miles ahead. People expect you to react. They expect you to get defensive, to waste energy arguing, to get distracted by proving a point. But when you focus on growth, you take away their power. You don't just rise above the noise, you leave it behind. Because growth means progress, and progress means results, and results means success. And when success arrives, there's nothing left to say. Success isn't about getting even, it's about getting better. It's about looking back one day and realizing that the people who once doubted you don't even matter anymore. Because you've grown so much, achieved so much, built so much, that their opinions have no place in your world. They stay stuck in the past while you create the future. But here's the key. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It's a choice. It's waking up every day and deciding to improve. It's turning every setback into a lesson, every criticism into motivation, every failure into a stepping stone. It's refusing to stay where you are because you know you were made for more. And the best part, the more you grow, the less you care about proving anyone wrong because you're too busy proving yourself right. The ones who succeed don't waste time on revenge. They don't chase approval. They don't hold on to bitterness. They just grow. They keep learning. They keep evolving. And one day they look around and realize they've built a life so incredible that the opinions of their past critics have faded into nothing. Not because they silenced them, but because they outgrew them. So don't waste time fighting battles that don't matter. Don't waste energy proving yourself to people who will never believe in you anyway. Instead, put everything into your growth. Become so skilled, so strong, so successful that your progress makes the past irrelevant. That's real victory. That's real power. Because at the end of the day, the greatest revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's becoming everything they said you couldn't be. Everything worth having comes with a price. Success isn't handed out, it's earned. And the price? It's sacrifice. The willingness to give up temporary comfort for long-term gain. The discipline to say no to distractions so you can say yes to your future. The understanding that if you put in the work now, the rewards will come later. That's the formula. That's the law. Pay now, play later. Sacrifice now, shine later. But most people don't want to hear that. They want the rewards without the effort. They want the results without the work. They want to shine now and worry about the sacrifice later. And that's why so many never reach their full potential. Because they refuse to do what success requires. They choose easy over excellence. They choose now over later. They choose comfort over growth. And in the end, they pay the price. But the ones who understand the power of sacrifice, they win. Not immediately, not overnight, but eventually, inevitably, because they get it. They know that every late night, every early morning, every hour spent improving instead of wasting time is an investment, and investments grow. Sacrifice isn't suffering, it's strategy. It's making choices today that will make your future self proud. It's skipping the meaningless distractions so you can focus on what actually matters. It's putting in the work when no one is watching, so one day, the world will have no choice but to notice. It's hard, no question about it. It's hard to say no when everyone else is saying yes. It's hard to work while others are relaxing. It's hard to be patient while waiting for results. But that's the test. That's what separates those who achieve from those who only dream. Because anyone can want success, few are willing to do what it takes. Look at the people who are winning, the ones at the top of their game. They weren't born there. They sacrificed their way there. They put in the hours, the effort, the discipline. They made choices that others weren't willing to make. And now they shine. Now they enjoy the rewards that most will never see, not because they were lucky, but because they earned it. And the best part? Once you reach that level, you realize something. Every sacrifice was worth it. Every hard decision, every extra effort, every moment of discipline added up to something incredible. The time you thought you were missing out on is actually preparing you. The opportunities you turned down, they were nothing compared to what you built. So if it feels like you're sacrificing now, good, that means you're on the right path. That means you're paying the price most people aren't willing to pay. That means you're setting yourself up for something bigger than what you could have right now. Keep going, keep building, keep making the choices that will make your future self proud. Because the day will come when the world sees the results of what you've been working for. And when that happens, you won't have to say a word. The shine will speak for itself. Success isn't a sprint. It's not about one big move, one lucky break, or one perfect moment. It's a slow, steady climb, a game of endurance. And the two things that separate those who win from those who give up, patience and consistency. Most people want instant results. They want to see progress right away. They want to plant the seed and eat the fruit the next day. But that's not how it works. The strongest trees take the longest to grow. The biggest rewards require the most time. And those who understand this truth are the ones who make it to the top, because they don't rush the process. They trust it. Patience isn't just about waiting. It's about believing. It's knowing that every effort, every small step, every seemingly insignificant action is moving you forward even when it doesn't feel like it. Most people quit because they don't see immediate results. They assume that because they're not winning yet, they never will. But the truth is, they were never failing. They were just still in the process. And the process takes time. But patience alone isn't enough. It must be combined with consistency. Because patience is what keeps you in the game, but consistency is what moves you forward. Doing the work every single day, showing up even when you don't feel like it, putting in the effort even when the results aren't visible yet. That's what builds success, not big flashy moments, but small, disciplined actions repeated over time. Look at anyone who has truly succeeded. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, artists, none of them got there overnight. They built their success brick by brick, day by day, with patience and consistency. While others looked for shortcuts, they stayed on course. While others gave up when it got hard, they kept going. And because they stayed the course, the results eventually came. The challenge is, most people underestimate how long it takes. They expect fast results, and when they don't get them, they assume they're on the wrong path. But success follows a different timeline. It rewards those who are willing to stick with it long after others have given up. It comes to those who keep pushing forward, even when there's no applause, no validation, no immediate payoff. There will be moments of doubt, times when you wonder if all the effort is worth it, times when it feels like nothing is happening. But this is exactly where most people give up, right before the breakthrough, right before the momentum kicks in, right before everything they worked for begins to pay off. Success is simple, not easy, but simple. Show up, put in the work, stay patient, stay consistent, keep going when others quit. And one day you'll look back and realize that while everyone else was chasing quick wins, you were quietly building something real, something that lasts. Because patience and consistency don't just win, they create unstoppable momentum. And once that momentum is on your side, nothing can stop you. The people around you shape your future. Their words, their energy, their mindset, it all influences you whether you realize it or not. Spend time with doubters, and soon you'll start doubting yourself. Spend time with complainers, and before you know it, you'll be making excuses too. But spend time with believers, people who see potential, who encourage growth, who push you forward. That changes everything. Failures aren't just people who support you, they're people who challenge you. They don't just tell you what you want to hear, they tell you what you need to hear. They don't let you settle for average, they push you to be your best. When you say you have a dream, they don't laugh. They nod because they believe in dreams too, and being around that kind of energy makes all the difference. But here's the problem. Most people don't choose their circle. They accept it by default. They stay around people they've always known, even when those people are holding them back. They listen to negativity because it's familiar. They stay in conversations that drain them because they don't want to walk away. But if you're serious about success, you can't afford that. You can't afford to let the wrong people plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Believers lift you higher. They inspire you to think bigger, work harder, and never give up. When you hit obstacles, they remind you of your strength. When you fall, they help you get back up. They don't let fear control their lives, and because of that, they won't let it control yours either. Now, this doesn't mean you cut everyone off or never speak to certain people again. It just means you protect your mind. You limit the influence of those who bring you down and maximize the influence of those who lift you up. Because success isn't just about what you do, it's about who you surround yourself with. If you spend time with people who believe in growth, in discipline, in excellence, guess what? You'll start growing. You'll start raising your standards. You'll start becoming the kind of person who makes things happen instead of waiting for them to happen. That's the power of association. Look at the most successful people in any field. They didn't do it alone. They had mentors, they had peers who pushed them, they had people who believed in them before the results showed. That's not luck. That's a choice. They chose to build an environment that supported their success. So take a look at the people around you. Are they helping you grow or holding you back? Are they encouraging your dreams or feeding your doubts? Are they pushing you forward or pulling you down? Because in the end, your circle will either fuel your success or sabotage it. And the choice? It's always yours.